Before I tell you what happened to me 3 years ago, I need you to know that I still live in the same town. I still drive the same roads, and every single night, I wonder if it is going to happen again. My name is Marcus, and what I am about to share is completely true. I've never told this story publicly because I didn't think anyone would believe me, but I can't keep this to myself anymore. This is the story of the night a passenger told me something that changed everything. It was October 2021. I was working as a rideshare driver in Asheville, North Carolina. You know, Uber, Lyft, that kind of thing. It paid the bills while I was figuring out my life. I was 29 years old, living in this beautiful mountain town with great hiking and a real sense of community. I usually drove evenings and nights because that is when you make the real money. The algorithm pays better after 8 p.m. and people tip better when they've been out drinking. That particular Friday, I'd already made about $250 in 6 hours. I was thinking about calling it a night, maybe grabbing some late-night food from one of the all-night diners. But then, at 11:47 p.m., I got a ping on my phone, a pickup request. Pickup location was Riverside Drive, older part of Asheville. Nothing fancy, but not dangerous either. The destination was the Biltmore area, about 15 minutes away. $14 base fare, plus whatever tip they'd give me. Seemed like an easy way to end my night. I hit accept without thinking twice. As I was driving over, I remember listening to this podcast about serial killers. I know, not the best thing to have in your head when you are about to pick up a stranger, but that is what happens when you spend a lot of time alone driving. Your mind goes to weird places. You think about true crime. You think about worst-case scenarios. I pulled up to the address on Riverside Drive. It was this older apartment complex, kind of weathered. Broken windows, cars parked everywhere. I looked at the GPS, and the pickup pin was right at the entrance. I waited. 3 minutes, 5 minutes, nothing. This happens all the time. People fall asleep, change their mind, call a friend instead. It was a woman, middle-aged, maybe mid-50s. Dark hair streaked with gray, pulled back tight. She was wearing a burgundy windbreaker and jeans. But what I noticed most was her expression. She looked urgent, almost panicked. Her eyes were wide, and she kept looking back at the apartment complex as she walked toward me. She opened the passenger door and got in without saying hello. Biltmore Drive, she said immediately. I need to get there now. Take the fastest route possible. Her voice was shaky. Anxious, I said. Sure, no problem. I'll get you there as fast as I safely can. She didn't respond. She just stared straight ahead. In my rearview mirror, I could see her hands were trembling. She was gripping her purse so tightly her knuckles were white. I tried to make conversation. I always do this late at night because it makes people feel safer. Rough night? I asked. She turned and looked at me for the first time, made eye contact, and her eyes were red. Like she'd been crying. She'd definitely been crying right before she got in my car. I am okay, she said quietly. I just need to get somewhere safe, that is all. That was when my instinct started going off. Something was wrong here. Not like she was going to rob me, but like she was running from something or someone. I decided to gently ask more questions. Hey, I am going to say this because I care about people's safety. If you are in any kind of trouble, I can call the police. No judgment. That is what they're there for. She was quiet for a long moment. I was turning onto Main Street. Traffic was non-existent at this hour. Then she asked me something that made my skin crawl. Do you ever feel watched, like really watched? Not just someone looking at you, but like you can feel it. Like there is an attention on you that is focused and wrong. I didn't know how to answer that, so I didn't say anything, just kept driving. My name is Patricia, she continued. I need to tell someone so that I am not the only one who knows. Because if I am the only one who knows, it doesn't feel real. I am Marcus, I told her. I am listening. She took a shaky breath. I've been living in that apartment complex for 8 years, Patricia said. I worked at Duke Hospital up in Durham. I am a night shift nurse. I work 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. 3 nights a week. I work. The other nights, I am home. 3 days ago, on a Tuesday, I came home from my shift at about 7:30 in the morning. The sun was coming up. I was completely exhausted. I just went straight to my bedroom and fell asleep. I woke up at 5 p.m. Good sleep. I felt better. I got up, made some coffee, was just existing on my phone, not really thinking about anything. And then I noticed something that made my blood run cold. There was a photograph on my coffee table that I didn't recognize. A Polaroid. Old school. And it was a picture of me, sleeping in my bed. But I didn't take it, and nobody else has a key to my apartment. My stomach dropped. I didn't say anything. I let her keep talking. I looked at the back of the photograph. Patricia continued, her voice getting quieter. There was handwriting, a date and time. It said Tuesday, 3:47 a.m. She paused. I was at work that night. I was at Duke Hospital, 8 miles away. Someone had come into my locked apartment while I was gone and taken a picture of me sleeping in my bed. The car suddenly felt very small. I called the police, Patricia said. They came. They looked around. No signs of forced entry, no broken locks, no broken windows. They basically treated it like a prank, like some teenager had somehow broken in, taken a picture, and left. But that wasn't the worst part. Last night, Thursday night, while I was at work, someone broke in again, and they left another photograph. This one was dated 1:33 a.m., and this one wasn't taken while I was at the hospital. What do you mean? I asked. It was taken while I was home, Patricia said, and now her voice was barely a whisper. But I don't remember them taking it. I was here all evening. I went to bed at around 11 p.m., and nobody woke me up. And in this picture, I am asleep, and there is someone else visible, just in the corner of the frame, out of focus. You can see part of someone's shoulder, part of someone's arm. Someone was standing over me with a camera while I slept, and someone else was in the room watching. I gripped the steering wheel tighter. The highway stretched out in front of us, dark and endless. Did you call the police again? I asked. Yes, Patricia said. Semi-response. They took the photographs, said they'd file a report, said they'd put extra patrols in my neighborhood. But I could tell they thought I was overreacting, or lying, or having some kind of mental breakdown. So you packed a bag and left tonight, I said. I packed a bag and left, Patricia confirmed. I called my sister in the Biltmore area. I am going to stay with her. Tomorrow I am going to try to figure out how to file a restraining order against someone I can't identify. We drove in silence for a while. I was processing everything she'd told me. Home invasion, stalking, someone with a key, someone who'd made a copy. Has anyone else in your complex reported anything like this? I asked. Not that I know of, Patricia said. That is what scares me most, that maybe it is just me. That maybe I did something to attract this attention. We were passing through the Biltmore Forest area now. Fancy gates, long driveways, the kind of neighborhood with security cameras. Patricia gave me directions to her sister's house. As I pulled up to the address, she said, "Thank you for listening, for not treating me like I was crazy." I told her, "You are going to be okay. You are with your sister now. The police are aware. You are going to figure this out." She opened the car door, but then she turned back. "One more thing," she said. "In my apartment, next to the second photograph, there was a handwritten note." My mouth went dry. She looked at me, and her eyes were so afraid. It said, "We're watching. We'll always be watching. You are ours now." She closed the door and walked toward her sister's house without looking back. I sat in my car for 5 minutes after she left, just sitting there, engine running, trying to process everything. The next morning, I called the Asheville Police Department. I told them everything Patricia had told me. The photographs, the dates, the hospital connection. The dispatcher took down my information and said a detective would call me. Detective Sarah Mills called me. She confirmed there was an investigation into the incidents at Patricia's apartment. She asked if Patricia seemed reliable. I said yes. Detective Mills said they were investigating, but without clear evidence, without knowing who did it, it was hard to move forward. I never heard back about that investigation, but here is what happened next. I kept driving rideshare. Things were normal for a couple weeks. But then, on a Thursday night in early November, around 1 a.m., I got a ride request. Pickup location, Duke Hospital. Destination, downtown Asheville. The note said, "Driver, please pick up in the employee lot." When I arrived, a man approached my car. He was tall, mid-40s, wearing scrubs. He got in without saying anything. "Where to?" I asked. "Just drive," he said. "Head toward downtown." After about 5 minutes, he said something that made my blood freeze. "You picked up Patricia Chen last month, the 15th of October, late night." I didn't respond. I didn't know what to say. "Patricia talks too much," he continued calmly. "She shouldn't have told you about the photographs. Now we have a problem." "Who is we?" I asked. My hands were shaking. "That is not important," he said. "What is important is that you understand the seriousness of this situation. Patricia was warned, but you've now become involved in something you shouldn't be involved in. Is that a threat?" I asked. "It is not a threat," he said. "It is a statement of fact. I am a reasonable person, Marcus. I know you are a reasonable person too. So what I am asking you to do is forget about Patricia. Forget about our hospital group. Forget about everything she told you." "And if I don't?" I asked. "Then the situation will escalate," he said, "and things will become much more complicated for you and for anyone close to you." That last sentence hit different. Anyone close to you. I pulled the car over immediately. We were near the riverfront, and there were some people on the streets even at that late hour. "Get out of my car," I told him. He smiled, like this was exactly what he expected. He got out, walked away into the darkness, and I never saw him again. I called the police immediately, gave them everything: description, timestamp, exact words. Detective Mills took it seriously this time. But here is the thing, they never found him. The hospital had no record of any male employee matching his description on duty that night. The ride information was logged, the GPS was recorded. But when they tried to find him, nobody could identify who he was. It was like he never existed. I stopped driving for Uber and Lyft after that. I couldn't do it anymore. Every ride request made my stomach sick. Every passenger made me nervous. As for Patricia, I tried to find her on social media to see if she was okay. I couldn't find her anywhere. No Facebook, no Instagram, no LinkedIn. It was like she disappeared. I never found out what happened to her. I never found out if the police investigation went anywhere. I never found out if there actually was a hospital employee group doing something illegal, or if I'd gotten caught up in something I still don't understand. What I do know is this: the man in my car was real. His warning was real. And whatever Patricia had stumbled into, it was serious enough that people were willing to threaten a complete stranger to keep them quiet. I moved out of Asheville 6 months later. I still live in North Carolina, but in a different city. I don't drive rideshare anymore. And sometimes late at night, I'll be lying in bed and I'll remember what that man said, "And you're close to you." And I'll look at my bedroom door, wondering if it is locked, wondering if I am as safe as I think I am. Because if Patricia could have a stranger walk into her locked apartment and take photographs of her sleeping, then what is to stop it from happening to anyone? What is to stop it from happening to you? Stay safe out there. Lock your doors. Trust your instincts. And if a rideshare driver ever tells you a story like this one, believe them. Because I am telling you the truth. And the truth is, there are people out there who are watching. And once they start watching, they don't stop. Thank you for listening to my story.